Hey, comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, continuing Road to Comic of the Year 2014. That's right, fans. And today we get the results of group number 4, and we also get a new grouping, which is group number 5. So, with all the votes that we got in this week, let's talk about group 4. Who won, who lost, who came in the middle, then we'll move on to group number 5. So here we go, guys. Group number 4's books were Earth 2, Annual number 2, Spider-Verse issue number 4, Batman issue number 28, Forever Evil issue number 6, Fantastic Four issue number 12, and Superior Carnage Annual issue number 1. All right, so I want to thank everyone for their votes this week. I got plenty of votes, and I love doing this, and I want you guys to please keep voting each and every week. So here comes the results. All right, every book got a vote at least, but there was only one winner and one wild card. And the first book that did not win this week was Earth 2, issue number 2. Even though it was a great annual, folks, it only got one vote. So we're going to move on here. The next book that I thought was a solid book and had contention to be at least in a wild card spot was Batman issue number 28. Only got one vote. All right. Next, a book that got more than one vote, and that was Fantastic Four issue number 12. Very solid issue. However, it was no match for the comics that are coming up. So there's 3 books left, and there can only be one wild card and one winner. And what can that be? Well, the third place comic goes to Superior Carnage Annual. Also received 2 votes. And that's it. So now it's between Forever Evil and Spider-Verse issue number 4. Turn off the lights. Here we go. And this week's book that gets nominated for Comic of the Year goes to that's right, fans. Forever Evil, issue number 6. This book was nominated by a landslide. I mean, it wasn't even close on of all the people that voted who wanted this book to be nominated for Book of the Year. The book that came in second and gets into the wild card round is Spider-Verse number 4. Now, I got a lot of comments going, Forever Evil is a good issue, and so is Spider-Verse. Which one do I pick? I gotta go with Forever Evil. So people had that favor there of going for Forever Evil. So there you have it. There is your newest nominated comic of the year, and there is your new wild card book. So moving forward, we're going to go on to group number 5 now. So guys, here is the latest grouping for number 5. First book we're going to talk about is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 4, the Original Sin tie-in. If you guys remember, this was the issue that introduced Silk. This was the first time that we heard about Silk. People were wondering who she was, what she's going to be about, how does she tie into the whole Spider-Verse thing, and you get to see that in this issue. So a lot of people were speculating on who and what she was going to be about, and this was the whole thing that kicked off Spider-Verse there. As you can see, Moreland or the inheritors smelling her scent right from the get-go. So if you guys want to see this, picked for to get nominated for Comic of the Year, please vote now. All right, next book that we're going to talk about, which probably won't get any picks, but it was my #1 pick for a particular week, and that was the new Suicide Squad issue #1. I like the way this book was written when it came out, and I thought that the artwork was done really nicely in this issue. Sean Ryan is the writer. Jeremy Roberts does the art. It opened up to some great pages in the beginning here, and I really enjoyed uh, the banter between Amanda Waller and I think his name is Victor Sage or Mr. Sage, whatever his name is. And it was great to see the interaction between the characters, between Harley Quinn and Joker's daughter. Unfortunately, since this first issue, every issue since the series has gone downhill for me. But this first issue I thought was amazing. I thought it was really well done, and I love the character interactions here. So if you guys want to see this book get nominated for Comic of the Year, please vote now. All right, next we're going to have another book that's another tie-in, and this is Access Hobgoblin issue #1. This was on the countdown a few weeks ago, and if you guys notice a trend this week, most of the books, except the Amazing Spider-Man book, is going to be a #1 book. So I decided to put all these new #1 books together in one pile here. So Hobgoblin issue #1. This was a great issue. It developed Kingsley here as this advertising mogul, this motivational speaker. It's just a hilarious issue. Kevin Schnick is the writer from this book, and Javier Rodriguez is the artist. I thought this book was amazingly funny. Now, the second issue was good, but not as good as this one. It was great to see Kingsley, talk about his box sets and sell his DVDs and go through phases 1, 2, and 3, and then you can become your own superhero franchise and you can get rich like him. I loved it. I loved the issue. Hopefully you guys did too. So if you guys want this to be nominated Comic of the Year, guys, please vote now. All right, next we have another book from DC Comics, and this one goes to Sinestro issue #1. I felt at this time when this book came out, I thought that the Green Lantern books were struggling. You had Larfleeze out, and then they were coming out with another book, and it was Sinestro, and we're kind of like, oh, what are we going to do with Sinestro? How is this book going to be written? And Colin Bunn is the writer on this book, and I thought Colin Bunn had a really good feel for the character in this particular issue, where he's been all this time since the end of the regular Green Lantern series, since Jeff Johns ended his run on the series, and then you get to see the I guess not reincarnation, but the reinvigoration of Sinestro, how Alyssa Dark, gets him the charge to get going back again. Sinestro wants to find his people again. You get to see the yellow core in this issue again. So this was a really well done issue, and I really enjoyed it. So if you guys want to see this nominated for Comic of the Year, please vote now. All right, next we have a book from Marvel, and this is issue #1 of Original Sin. This was the book that really was kicking off the next event for Marvel this past year, and a lot of people were kind of like, oh man, another event. But after reading this book, a lot of people said, wow, Original Sin is awesome and is the best Marvel event that I've read in years. Jason Aaron, I think, was the writer on this, if I correct on here. Yes, Jason Aaron is the writer. Mike Deodato is the artist in this book. And what this book did is it set the tone right away as yes, it's a little bit of a darker tone book because it's set based upon a murder, and the murder was from the Watcher. And throughout this book, you get to see a mystery reveal itself. You have to find out who killed him. And it was like watching Law and Order or CSI or something like that. You get to see our heroes gather teams together to figure out who destroyed the Watcher. And then by the time you got to the end of the issue, you have your mystery characters sitting here in all hoods, all hooded up and whatnot, and then you get to see the eyeball, the Watcher's eye, on who has possession of that eye. So this created a lot of mystery, and people were speculating and talking on who it could be, and I thought this created a nice buzz for a Marvel event this past year, and they did all the tie-ins really well. And so this is one of the reasons why this book was #1 on my list this past year. So if you guys want to see this nominated for Comic of the Year, please vote now. All right, and last but not least, I think some of you are going to laugh at this because based off of my last week's countdown, I rated it second the worst pick on my list. Even though I still gave it 3 stars, it was just one of the lower books on my list, and it was Batman and Robin, Robin Rises. And now this book was #1. I'm not sure how long ago already, but a little while ago, and it's Robin Rises Omega issue #1. And I remember I skipped on this book, and people said, "Mike, you got to read this book. It was amazing. It's $4.99, but it sums up everything that's going on, what happened with Robin and everything." And I was like, okay, that's cool. Now I read the death of Damian and I read how he died, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick it up. And when I read it, you know what? It was a phenomenal read. The artwork is done by Andy Kubert here. Peter J. Tomasi is the one that writes this book. And I love the old school feel on it. It doesn't have glossy pages. It has paper pages on here. And it just provided a great story. It sums up. It's a great jumping on point for people that want to catch up on the journey to on Damian coming back. And it summed up how he died and whatnot, and then it gets on to the main story. And there was great battle scenes in this book, and we get to see how the beginning stages of how Robin winds up going to Apocalypse, and we get to see how emotional Batman was in this issue towards the end here, fighting for his son, and we get to see how a portal opened up. And I mean, look at the artwork in this book. This book is awesome. Like, I know a lot of people like this last issue of Batman and Robin. When I compare it to this book, though, that's a #1 book in my opinion. I thought this book was phenomenal. At the end of the book, you wind up seeing Shazam thinking that he saves Batman, but he breaks his tether to the portal to try to go after Damian. And you're just like, oh man, you got to feel for Robin at the end of this issue, and that starts the whole thing of him going to Apocalypse. So this was a great book, and I remember reading it, and I was very impressed. That's why I'm reading Robin Rises today, because of this issue. So, but I just don't think it's as strong as it was when it kicked off here. But for this book, if you guys want to see this nominated for Comic of the Year, please vote now. So there you have it, guys. There is group #5 for Road to Comic of the Year 2014. You guys, please, the votes, the lines are open, whatever you want to say. Please vote. The more votes, the better, because sometimes that one vote makes a huge difference. And again, I want to thank all you guys for your participation in Road to Comic of the Year 2014. It's becoming a great success, and I love looking at all the votes each and every week and seeing all the people comment on it. It's really fun, and I hope you guys are having fun with it too. So guys, again, you have until next Monday night to vote, and by Tuesday I'll have the results video, and I'll have a new grouping coming up, which will be group #6. So guys, until the next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. And thanks for watching, fans. Take care. Bye.